Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. It is the 3rd of January. I hope that everyone has had an amazing start to their new year. And I also have also wish you have all had an amazing week so far. Hopefully, you guys are back into routine. You're probably feeling a little bit better now, a little bit more sharper on the charts because obviously, I always say with trading, if you have a week off trading, it's like having a month off trading. If you have 2 weeks off trading, it's like having 3 months off trading. So, I don't like to basically take time away from the charts. Just to be totally truthful with you guys, I like to just keep the mind fresh, keep on it at all times. And plus, it's a passion of mine. So when it's a passion, it's not really like a job. So I don't like, I don't want to jump onto the charts. It's always like, always on the charts. It is a passion of mine. So hopefully some of you guys who are watching this feel the exact same. Maybe some of you guys despise trading, but just want to make it your full-time income or one of your full-time incomes, which is fine as well. You don't have to love something to make money. But as you guys can see, we are talking about the daily market outlook as always. So obviously, yep, it's Friday, so we can expect a little bit more slower, potentially slower markets. But obviously we can prepare for today and prepare for next week. Looking at the dollar, obviously yesterday we talked heavily on the two areas that we had. We had this 4 hour demand area and in this roadblock 4 hour demand area as well. If you remember yesterday, I was preferring to take this 4 hour demand area. That was my preferred area, and I wanted to take out these lows. But we did talk about the fact that this is a 4 hour demand area and it's valid, and we could move away from there. So again, as you can see, yes, as a trader, if I get emotional and I'm like, I'm only taking this area, I'm only focusing on this area, and then we react from this area, then obviously I'm missing out on opportunities, I'm missing out on profits. So again, you got to play what you see and understand that yes, this is a valid daily 4 hour demand area, and this is a valid 4 hour demand area. But as you can see, we obviously had this 4 hour higher high, 4 hour higher low, come down, retrace into the demand, and then we've had this bullish momentum upwards from yesterday. Now, looking at today, it's very similar to yesterday. So we have obviously our 4 hour higher low and our 4 hour higher high. So we've got a clear range. And as you guys can see, we've got the same area, 4 hour demand, which is this where these 2 wicks are, where the two candles meet. And then we have this 4 hour demand area here as well. So again, if we look at yesterday, exactly the same. 4 hour demand at the extreme, 4 hour demand at the extreme, 4 hour demand around the 50% mark, 4 hour demand at around the 50% mark. So very similar to yesterday's. So what can we expect? Well, what we can expect is bullish momentum from either of these zones. So what I would personally wait for is a confirmation on the 4 hour demand area here, which will be probably a break above one of these highs, which we can check out in a minute. Before obviously participating in anything, of course, right now it will most likely be the lower time frame supply is in control. So we could still meet around this area for 4 hour demand. If we drop down to the 1 hour, you'll be able to see that we are currently obviously going away from this 1 hour area. You've got this rebalanced area where it's got all the imbalance, this 4 hour or this 4 hour demand area. What I would wait for personally is a break above this. So we can get a break above this high. Then I would like to see the dollar obviously carry on to go and create that new 4 hour and daily higher high. So that is my predictions and my thoughts for today. If we don't get that, then obviously what can we expect is we can expect the market to, continue down into this 4 hour demand area. And then that's where we want to see a change of that trend to participate in taking this higher. So that is pretty clear, pretty clean so far. Let's wait for our confirmations, of course. But that is what I want to see is a break above this. And then hopefully we can see we've got lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So we can, see that bullish momentum come through if we could break above. And then that leads me on to GU. So looking at GU, again, yesterday, a lot of just bearish momentum. We had this 4 hour supply area that obviously we come down, we mitigated, and then we moved away. I've not really actually had any trade ideas on here. Of course, when we were talking yesterday, I wanted to see a pullback into this area before this bearish move down, and we didn't quite get that. But as you guys can see, we've got our daily lower high, daily lower low, 4-hour lower low, and then our 4-hour lower high. This is my valid 4-hour supply area. But I also understand that, yes, if the dollar's going up, we are in this little supply area as well. Let me just mark this out, 4-hour supply area as well, where we can simply react from. And it'll be just a case of waiting for confirmation as well, waiting for that confirmation of a change of trend, which will most likely be this low here. We can break this low, then obviously same as the dollar, we would want to see breaking this low and then a pullback and then carry this on downwards. So that is my first thoughts that I have for GU. Pretty easy to understand, but if we don't, there's obviously more areas that we can come back into. But I just think the bearish movements that are happening right now, obviously this is we're nowhere near this area. So if we're nowhere near this area, we just got to play what the dollar's doing and play what we see. So yes, I would love if we can get into this 4-hour supply area, of course, but there's no necessarily, saying that we're going to get that, and we've got to play what we see. Going over to EU, pretty much the same. You'll be able to notice that obviously my 4-hour supply area is here. Yesterday we obviously broke, and I wanted to see, this week we obviously broke down, and then yesterday I wanted to see a bit more of a pullback into this 4-hour supply. We didn't get that, unfortunately. We just had mass amount of movement downwards. So, first thought is, yes, obviously this will be my 4-hour supply area that I would like to see us come back into. That is my valid 4-hour lower high and my valid 4-hour and daily lower low. So it makes sense to basically have, retracement here and then go down. But of course, we're not always going to get that. We might not get that, obviously. Looking at where we're at right now, drop down to 2. There's nothing clear for this to sell from, in my opinion. Nothing to even go, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, the first roadblock that we do have is this area here, of course, which we could react from, but we're nowhere near that. So again, obviously, it's not something that I'd be looking at selling. But again, if the dollar is, of course, reacting to go bullish from this area, then yeah, EU can just carry on downwards from here with no real confirmation for us to participate. Going over to NU. NU currently right now, you'll be able to see that we basically had this 4-hour supply area. So we're still in this 4-hour range from this 4-hour lower high. One second, let me just let my dogs in. She is crying. Come on. Oh, yeah. Dogs, man. Dogs are worse than kids. So as I was just saying, so you guys can probably see clear that we're still in this 4-hour range. And we've obviously had clean, supply areas that have been meeting. We had this one yesterday where we come up into this 4-hour supply and we moved away. And we now just seem to have a little pullback into, I think it was I've got it down as a 30-minute demand. Let me just double check. Yep, so we've come into this 30-minute demand. So we've come down, we've come back into this 30-minute demand. We've took liquidity and we've had a big institutional candle. So you'll be able to see here the 3 confirmations that I always talk about. We obviously created early inducement. We've now took that early inducement. So we took the liquidity. And then what? What do we want to wait for? We want to wait for a change of trend. So with that being said, have we achieved a change of trend? Well, yes, because if you look at this here, you'll be able to notice that we've had a change of trend from this low. And then what happened? Well, what happened is the market pulled back into almost to a T to this supply area here, this 30-minute supply area. Let me do this. I'll just put it as 15-minute. And look, you'll be able to, let me move that backwards actually. You'll be able to see that, look, we pull back, we change the trend, and then it comes back in, fills in this imbalance, taps into this, supply area, and now we're moving away from that. So hopefully you guys can see them 3 confirmations. First confirmation is, can we see inducement? Can we take liquidity? Yes, we have done. And then can we get a clear change of trend with an institutional candle? And we have obviously had that. And then that's where you want to participate in selling this market. So hopefully we get that to carry on. And then let's have a look at AUD/USD. It should be pretty similar to NU, but I don't think it's looking anywhere near as clean. Yep, as you guys can see, it's not looking anywhere near as clean. But we're in this 4 hour range. So we've got our 4 hour lower high and 4 hour lower low. Currently right now we're reacting out this 4 hour supply candle, but it's very, very ugly, very choppy. Let's drop down to the 1 hour to see if we can see anything. Yeah, it's not really clear. I don't know if this was taken as a liquidity or it's just created equal highs. You could class it as a liquidity sweep, I guess. Let me just see. Yeah, it's come up and tapped above, but again, I'm not too sure if that's what most people would class as liquidity sweep. The only other thing is, which is a positive, is the fact that, of course, we came back up into this uptrend and we have changed that trend almost. We finished this candle below to obviously participate in selling this downward. So that'll be my main thought, is having this come down and obviously participate. What I'd wait for you guys, what I'd wait if I was you guys, is a close below this wick, and then try and participate in a sell from this area if it makes sense for the dollar. But that's what I've got for AUD USD. Now moving over to the other pairs, USD Swiss franc. Let's go to the 4 hour. So USD Swiss franc, you'll be able to see that obviously we've got a clear 4 hour range. And then from this 4 hour range, we have a clear 4 hour demand area. We had a lot of bullish momentum, of course, yesterday. But as you can see, we come down this week, yesterday, tapped into this 4 hour demand area that we talked about, and then it's moved clear away from that. It's very easy to understand. If you go and watch the videos, like, look, we have a pullback into this 4 hour demand, we move away. We create a new higher high, we pull back into the 4 hour demand, and then we move away and create a new higher high. So rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Looking at this right now, you'll be able to see that yes, we've got a lot of market to rebalance. A lot of imbalance in here. We've got obviously this main 4 hour demand area, and then we also do have this 4 hour demand area as well, which we haven't quite reached. But again, following the dollar's in the demand area currently. So if the dollar's going up, obviously USD, CHF will carry on upwards as well. If I drop down to the 1, can I see anything clear? Not really. We just rebalanced this market here, which obviously could give it, yeah, there's nothing clear for me to look for buys from. Just to be real with you guys, I'd like to see a more of a pullback. But obviously, if we don't get that, we don't get that, and we carry on up. We carry on up, and then we just got to play what we see. But you can clearly see the range that we're in and the two areas that we want to keep an eye on. USD CAD is a little bit more clearer in sense to have a trend, but not a trend, if that makes sense. We've been talking about USD CAD for a while and just saying how ugly this is and how choppy this has been. Obviously, yesterday we had a little confirmation of a break because we obviously was in this downtrend here. We was in this downtrend, which I thought initially was going to maybe potentially carry on, take out these lows and just carry on. We did obviously come down. We created, this here, which then became our valid higher low, and then we broke above. So we have this area of here to here. In fact, let me just get rid of this. We have this 1 hour, 1 hour 4, or whatever you want to call it, 1 hour 4 hour area or range from here to here. And then we're into our demand area as well. So if you look at where we're currently at, yeah, it's not comes down into this, but you'll be able to notice that we're in this 4 hour demand. So again, what am I expecting? Well, I'm expecting a bullish movement away from here, bullish movement away from here to create a new high. That is what I would like to see. But if we drop down to the 1 hour, can we see any confirmation at all to get in? Well, we've had, to be fair, we've had a good break here. So if you look at this right now, obviously it's a 1 hour. In fact, let me mark it out by this. If you look at this, we was creating, a clear downward trend. We have lower high, lower low. This should have been our lower high. We should have then created a lower low. We didn't, so we've come down. And then we've had movement up here as well, but we have reacted from this area. So what I would be like to wait for right now is, because we pulled back into this candle here, I want to see another break. If I see another break in this, I'll be buying this upwards. So this is what I want to see. If we can get this to be our next, it'll be obviously clear on the lower time frame, but I would clear a higher low, and then we get a higher high, and we have another break here, then I will 100% be buying this currency pair. So hopefully that makes sense. I wouldn't buy from it now because simple fact, we are in this 4 hour, 1 hour, sorry, supply area. So we're in this 1 hour supply area. Why would we buy right now? Let's move this away. We're in this 1 hour supply area. So why would we buy right now when this is still in control from this high to this low? Like we are still in this leg from a 1 hour perspective. Yes, we've had a 15-minute change of trend on here, but the 1 hour is still bearish. So 1 hour is still bearish from here to here. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, wait for your confirmations to participate in this. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Could be in for a good setup with USD CAD going into next week. Let's have a look at GJ. You'll be able to notice that we are currently trapped between demand and supply. So from a daily standpoint, we're in this 4 hour candle, this 4 hour demand area. So first thoughts is yes, bullish, bullish move. We could, have a potential to hold this trade for a long period of time and have a swing trade, idea, of course. But we have roadblocks that we have to basically beat. And what I mean by that is whenever you trade, if you've got an uptrend on this, uptrend on a higher time frame, you have to understand that your lower time frame's in a downward trend. So you can see the 4 hour is still bearish. So the 4 hour is still bearish. Guess what? The 1 hour is also still bearish. It's going to be like this, obviously a lot different. And you'll have a pullback, and then you've got this. So let's make this one red. So if you look at the daily, the 4 hour, we've got this range. We've got the 4 hour lower high to the 4 hour lower low. So the 4 hour lower high to the 4 hour lower low. So that means that this area for the 4 hour lower high is my second roadblock. My first roadblock, my first area is this area that I need to beat, which is this 1 hour lower high here. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is whenever you're trading, you have to have everything in alignment. So what I would like to see to participate is can we get a break above this 1 hour supply? If we can, it would be good enough to buy this up. And then if we can potentially get, another break above this 4 hour, this is going to be going to the moon. 100% will be going to the moon because you beat roadblock number 1. And then you would have beat roadblock number 2. Maybe I need to come up with a different word than roadblock, but yeah, that is problem number 1, we can say, and problem number 2. So once you've got past problem number 1, you are obviously good until you get to problem number 2, which is this. Once you break the trend of the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and it's in alignment with the daily, bam, let's go. So hopefully that makes sense. EJ, similar situation. As you guys can see, I'm waiting for a 1 hour break above here. So we can get a confirmation of this 1 hour break, then obviously potentially looking at this going upwards, but very same situation as GJ. I would have liked to see this 4 hour demand area met, but we didn't quite get that, but we did tap into this imbalance here. So let me just make this as a 1 hour lower high. Looking at USD Japanese yen, as you guys can see, we've got this daily range and then our 4 hour range. So our 4 hour higher low to our 4 hour higher high. If I just drop down to the 1 hour, you'll be able to see that we are currently in a good position to look for this to move on upwards. Because if you look at this, we obviously had the downwards trend happen. We then broke above this last lower high to create an uptrend. We've come down into this 4 hour demand area. We then moved away again, and we've now just tapped into this 1 hour demand area. So let me get rid of this 4 hour. And we've tapped into this 1 hour demand area here. You can actually probably refine that to this. So what I would like to see from USD Japanese yen is let me move that out of the way. Can we get, if we look at it from a 30-minute, you'll be able to see that we've still got, obviously, we've had a nice movement away. We've got a downwards trend that's potentially going into an upwards trend. What I would like to see, just to extra confirmation, is can we break above this? If we can break above this, like this, then I will be looking at longing this for sure. This is the last, if you look at the actual trend on the 1 hour, This for me is the last valid lower high, I think. So we come up, created a lower low, come back up, create a lower high, and then we create a lower low. So that is my first roadblock, is this area here. If we can break above that, that'll then understand that, okay, we are in, we are all good to go in for a buy, because everything else is in alignment with the higher time frames. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Obviously we've gone over the pairs and also USD Japanese yen, which I don't usually talk about. But we have obviously gone over all of the pairs that I have available, that I trade, should I say. But I hope that you have all had an amazing week. I hope you've all got some value from this call. I just want to say that I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure if you're watching this and you're new and you don't quite understand how I trade, one advice I would have you give you guys is, if you go to my YouTube channel, this video I did a day ago, understanding what supply and demand is and how to identify key areas, is very key. If you go to playlists, and you'll notice that I've got all my daily market outlook playlist in here. If you go to free masterclass, and you'll be able to notice that I've got a free advanced market structure video on here. So these two videos, free advanced market structure, understanding what supply and demand is, they're the two videos that I'd like you guys to basically watch to get more knowledge before obviously understanding my daily market outlook videos. But guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Have an amazing weekend, of course, and we will catch up next week. Let's go.